Greetings gamers, my name is Dreadscythe from Fallen Angels, and welcome to another To The Point review. On today's episode is Horizon Zero Dawn. With me as always is my sister Haven.
Hey guys.
Now I know we're a little bit late and we kind of disappeared for a while, but we were dealing with a few situations here and there, and we're trying to go back into the rhythm of things. And as always, we're going to give you some positives, some negatives, and some closing thoughts. But before we start today's video, we publish all kinds of gaming videos on the channel, from gameplays, reviews, news, and even walkthroughs. So if you find any of that interesting, don't be afraid to smash that subscribe button, break that bell icon so you can stay in touch with everything we do. Now without further ado, let's get started. Now first things first, if you don't know this already, this is a single player open world game. Kind of a story driven game, but it's like I said, it's an open world, so you can do whatever you decide to do. I realize that this game is a bit old, but we are waiting for the Horizon 2. We found out about it. We have not quite gotten to this game, so we decided to play it, review it in preparation for the next one to come, so we kind of know what is going on. Any thoughts on the game overall?
Oh, I love the game.
Yeah, I thought so.
I enjoyed it. I played it like about 2 weeks.
Right.
Every day after work I come and I play.
Right.
There's so many things to do. This story is beautiful and I just caught up into it, and it's something that is really worth playing.
Right. So let's get to the positives. First of all, the story. Now, personally, I'm a person who likes to get through the story and be done with these things. And the story for me was really good. It has some depth and some philosophical thing on life and how things could keep going even though they're destroyed, etc.
Very
etc.
strong story.
Right, exactly. But as I came to realize after I left the game, my sister kept playing, is that there are many more stories in the side missions than there is in the main story.
I mean, if you play only the main story, you will know eventually what happened and what's going on around you. But when you do the side quests, you will discover more information, more stuff, have more fun.
Right.
You would have more opportunity of, getting to know the characters, working with your equipment, crafting and discovering it. So if you play the main quest, the side quest and the main quest together in sequence, you would have much more experience.
Right. From what I've seen you play from time to time, the world is huge.
Oh,
and
it's enormous.
It's quite deep.
Yeah.
And they're really good at world building.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. I enjoyed it.
Right. There is also real good writing and real good voice acting.
Yeah.
When these two come together, they created a much better story.
That is absolutely true. As you said, the story, it has a lot of depth, and the characters, especially the main character, she's feisty.
Oh yeah.
I really liked her.
They
They drew her in a really different way from what we usually, the main character has to be polite and nice and outgoing. Right. This one is really a fighter, and she would speak her mind.
Right. She snaps back all
exactly.
the time.
Yeah,
it's
I
really
enjoyed
great.
that, and yeah, and the graphics in the game is amazing. I mean, from the characters to the environment, from the city to the caves to the hidden places, from snow to the trees to everything in it is exquisite.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree. It's quite beautiful. Even the enemies, the robotic enemies, they're
cool.
just gorgeous, and especially the big ones when they walk around there. They're just really well done.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned before, the map is huge.
Yeah, it's just one map.
It's just one ginormous map. It's an open world game filled to the brim with stuff, from enemies to collectibles to crafting to merchants. It's huge.
A lot. And I enjoyed the fast travel. And to be honest, it made the game much easier.
Right.
Because you have to run from this place to other place, and it's a really long, destination.
Yeah.
And with the fast traveling, it was cool. It's really, I enjoyed that.
Right. Next up is the controls. This is kind of make or break for me. The controls are really, really important. And the controls in Horizon Zero Dawn is extremely responsive and kind of really fun to play around with.
It is really good. Yeah, it's everything is fast and respond really fast. From fighting to running to to jumping and everything.
Right.
Like
There's quite a bit of
really
climbing in
smooth
there.
and soft.
Yeah. It's quite good. There are games like the Last of Us 1, which is a good game overall, but the controls just felt really robotic, like really slow. This one is the complete opposite,
Yes.
and it's really cool and really agile.
Yep.
Next up, as we mentioned before, there's a lot to do in the maps. Like I said, I kind of gone through the main story and just kind of stopped, but
Yeah, I did
Haven continued.
I did a lot of side quests, and there's a lot of interesting stuff to do, and especially when you go through missions to craft and improve your equipment and your weapons, and you add more, and you learn how to trade, and you learn how to sell and buy and all that stuff. It was really interesting.
Yeah, I've only seen things here and there, but I can immediately tell of the enormous amount of icons on the map by the end of the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do in the game. Next up, I don't know if you've seen our Last of Us review. One of the points we made is the crafting is kind of inconvenient when you're trying to do it in mid-combat.
Yeah.
The game does not slow down or stop at all, which makes it really inconvenient. This one is much better. This one does not quite stop the game from going, but kind of slows everything down so you can craft the ammo while you're trying to fight the enemies.
You have the advantage of that, that is absolutely true.
Yeah,
and it made it easier to play.
Right, especially that you have to craft the ammo that you need.
Yeah.
You run out of ammo, just take a bit of distance, use the button, it will slow everything down, giving you enough time to craft the ammo to come back to the fighting.
That's absolutely true.
It just makes it non-stop action. You don't have to, be in a disadvantage because of it. Next up are the negatives. Now, none of these are really game-breaking, but we found a few. First of all, the game tends to play audios on top of each other. Like, there's been a couple of instances when there's a character telling you about the main story and what's really happening, but just by accident you've played a recording that was on the ground, and then they will play at the same time.
They collide,
That point you're not really listening to either. What they should have done, in my opinion, is once these two play on top of each other, they would mute the side one and just keep the main one going.
Sometimes I've noticed, like, I find some recording and I'm listening to it, and as I was running, and then they program it to say something when she hit that point, and you end up not hearing what she said or what was recording, because they
just kind of play on top of each other.
So it's not that bad, but sometimes, if you do not time it exactly, you will have this issue.
Right. There's also I've seen a few weird looking animation. This is RPG style animation where the NPC, while you're having a conversation with him or her, they will have a certain set of animations that they will keep repeating over and over.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't match, like what they are saying with
exactly.
their mouth, it doesn't match. But I've noticed that this has only happened with side characters, like a merchant or someone who would say something and you're not gonna meet him anymore. With the main characters, they really did it right, and
they took more effort into the main story rather than the side story.
Yeah.
Like we said, none of these are game breaking.
Yep.
It just seems annoying. That's all there is to it. Next up is the boss fights. Now, the boss fights are kind of interesting, but in my opinion, they could have done it a bit better. In this game, it boils down to finding out the enemy's weakness and just shooting it until it dies. That's more or less
keep shooting it until it dies. Yeah.
What they should have done, in my opinion, is do more of the boss have certain move set that you have to kind of learn and know when to hit it, and bring it down that way.
Yeah, or there is a certain strategy you have to stop and think about it and see, okay, how would I defeat that? No, there is a point that it will highlight when you click a button, and then you keep hitting it,
and then you can realize the weakness of the boss with the focus.
And what I like, they give you like this particular thing, the weakness is fire, or this one is ice, so they kind of played with it, but the main idea is that you have to keep hammering it, hitting it until it dies.
Until it drops.
That is the point of it.
Yeah, that's not quite that creative.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up, the last point is bit of a weird difficulty levels. When we started the game, usually when I play any of these games, I play on normal difficulty.
Yep.
I like a little bit of challenge, but not so much that I bash my head in the wall. But even at normal difficulty, we were having a really tough time. Like, we were really getting our ass handed to us. However, when we switched down to story difficulty, the game was so easy. There was no challenge whatsoever.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But I discovered, like, through playing the whole game, if you play with the main story, you play the side quest in sequence, you would have chance to craft your weapons and get stronger with every quest you do. And I think if you play it in the normal difficulty with doing all this,
right,
it will be much easier than what we faced, because we went to the whole story and we kept going, you know?
Right.
So if you want to do it normal, then you have to be patient.
Right, you have to take your time and
Yeah.
do the quests and all that.
Yeah.
Just not something I like to do.
Not your
personally.
style, like, at all.
I like to just push through it and be done. So overall, I think the game is gorgeous. It's really good.
Yeah,
you know,
it is worth it, and especially if you guys like us want to play the new one, Horizon 2, then definitely play this one to get the story, because there's a lot of depth, a lot of ideas that you will, learn in this one in order to play the second one. So it is fun for me. I played it a lot and I enjoyed it, and I did all the quests, side, main, all the quests.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and I like the open world games, and this one was one of my favorite.
Right. I personally, I like it. The game is good. This controls, like I said, everything controls, responsive, graphics are great, story is good.
Nature, environment, everything.
Yeah. I personally, with story-driven games, I like to get through the story and be done. Unless it's an MMO, I don't quite get deep into these types of things.
Yeah.
I just don't see the point of it. Anyway, if the second game is to follow the footsteps of the first one, I think we'll have a really good game.
Well,
coming.
it is. Because at the end of the game, if you remember...
Right. No, I'm not talking necessarily about the story or what direction they're going to take it. I'm talking about the game overall.
Oh, okay.
If they're going to follow the same footsteps and controls, graphics, depth, everything, it will be a really good game.
As far as we saw in the trailer, it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was something really,
we'll
really interesting.
We'll wait and see. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. I just wanted to let you know, I heard that New World has been delayed, so I don't know what we're gonna do about the live stream. We're thinking we might do the Resident Evil 7 live stream while we wait for New World, but I will try to keep you guys posted on that, and we'll see how things go.
Yep.
Anyway, like I said before, feel free to hit the subscribe button, stay with us, leave us a comment, we always respond.
Yep.
Thank you for watching, be safe, and keep on being awesome.